Hello, everyone out there on the internet. This hour, another of my speaking classes on verbling. And oh, have I got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking all about a very interesting and topical issue. And I think we're going to get a lot out of this. And I'd love to hear some people out there from Turkey, because this is particularly important to you. And the debate is when an ally treats protests harshly. We'll learn more about that in just a minute. But first, 3 quick rules to help you in my class. Turn off, tune in, and open up. Rule 1 is turn off your microphone and try to keep it off until you're speaking, but also close the verbling window when the Hangout starts. So when you're in the Hangout, close verbling. That's the best solution so we don't get an echo. Rule 2 is tune into the new words. Try to use them as actively as you can throughout the class. And rule 3 is open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun, because this is a safe, respectful place to practice your English, and I am here to help. So that's a little bit about me, and let's see who we've got. We've got Ms. Nihan. Hello, Nihan.
Hi, John.
So you rushed home from work.
Yes, and I stopped by with my friends and got a beer. Then I ran to home because of this class.
I am honored, Nihan. I am honored. And it's going to be a good one. We're going to learn about this issue, and hopefully we've got some people from Turkey that could tell us firsthand. There was a lot of people in the chat window yesterday, so I hope some people come in. Hello, Juan. Nice
Hello,
to have
John.
you back. Excellent.
Nice to see you too.
Today I don't normally teach on Fridays. You'll have to excuse. I don't have my little banner in the background, but this was an emergency to do the class today, so everything's a bit mess. Will you forgive me, Juan? I know you.
Oh, of course. We
Excellent.
understand. Yesterday was a
little bit of
hassle
a mess.
with Google Hangouts in general.
Today it's working. And if not, Hina is out there on the chat window ready to help, which I'm also very happy to see. Mr. Goliath, how are you doing?
How are you, teacher?
Oh my goodness, Goliath, remember, you're the teacher. I'm the
Really?
student. Yes, I thought you knew that.
No, I'm just learning, doing my best.
Oh my goodness. Remember, the teacher is always the one who learns the most.
Yeah.
That's why you're the teacher and I'm the student, and I'm here to learn from you.
Okay.
So today we're going to learn a little bit about, in terms of language, we're going to learn a little bit about newspeak. Have you ever heard that term before, Goliath?
What is it? New?
Newspeak. Have you heard that term?
News speak about news? Like the news?
Yeah. I'll write in the
And
chat
the
window.
TV?
Whoops. I'm going to try to write it in the chat window. The term is newspeak. Well, let's say a quick hello to Action, see if he's heard of it as well. Mr. Action, are you out there?
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, Action. Have you ever heard the term newspeak?
So I haven't heard about it before, but let me guess. I think it means that. So you are speaking as you are telling the news to the people, maybe.
Okay, you're on the right track. This actually comes from a famous book. If I tell you the name of the book, you'll probably figure out right away what I'm trying to say. The book was 1984 by George Orwell.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think newspeak is?
So it is. It is so serious speaking. Maybe is it about the countries like George Orwell mentioned in 1984?
Yeah, it has everything to do with the fictional countries. What was the news media like? If you ever read the book or you saw the movie, there was a movie I don't know, 20 years ago.
I watched the movie, but I also
Wait, I forgot. Nihan is our expert on movies. I completely forgot.
Oops.
Did you see that movie that was with John Hurt? And I forget who the girl was, but I remember it was John Hurt when he was kind of young. Sorry, Action, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
No,
that's okay.
I don't remember, John.
Oh my goodness. Well, newspeak was a special term about the language that was acceptable in the media, in the book, and of course in the movie. And in the movie and in the book, one of the main characters was the character of Big Brother. Does that sound familiar?
Big Brother, kind of
Yeah.
America.
Maybe. Now we've got the reality show Big Brother, and that's where it comes from. So that's the character of the government that was spying on everyone in the book and in the movie. So newspeak was the special way that the language could be, I'll use the word sanitized. Sanitized. So certain words were not acceptable in newspeak. I can't remember all the terms that were used. Newspeak was one of the newspeak words. Hold on a second. I just have to shut my door because it seems to be creaking. Okay, it's okay. For example, here I'll give you. I'm talking about this for a reason because we're going to talk more about the media because we're not all experts on Turkey. I'm going to show you a little report, but I'd like to talk a lot about the media and how language is being used and get your opinion about it. And if anyone is out there on the chat window who knows about this, who has been involved in the protests, feel free to chime in, give us your opinion, or come into class because there's plenty of space. So, if I remember right, I'm not going to Google for it, but if I remember right, one of the newspeak terms was, what was it? I think it was thought crime. In other words, certain things that you could not think, as opposed to, I don't know, I had a list of these. What I want to do is, if you take a look at our document, our shared document, on the second page where it says warm-up, I wrote the language of resistance and oppression. Because I think it's interesting how different groups, different people, use common terms to mean different things. So, can everyone see the document that I shared?
Yes.
So, we're going to watch a report and talk about some articles, but I thought it would be interesting to start with not just the terms that we need to use to talk about what's happening, but also how those terms mean different things in different places and in different media outlets. So, I put a few there for you. Let's start with the last one. Mr. Juan, do you know what the DOD is? Have you heard that before? You might see
DOD?
this. You might see this in a news report. It's a branch of the government.
No, I'm not
Okay,
aware.
so this is the Department. Whoops, the Department
Defense.
of Defense. Right. So, in the normal terminology, and I'll put the resistance on the normal side. Maybe I should put normal instead of resistance. In the normal terminology, it's Department of Defense. Maybe we can decide which side it fits better on. But that's not what it was originally called. It was originally called the DOW. Anyone want to guess what the W stands for? Going once? Going twice?
Department of Weapons.
Department of close. Department of
War.
I think Juan said it. Department of War. So during World War II, it was the Department of War. When the war was over, it became the Department of Defense. So some people would consider that a kind of sanitizing of the language and of the purpose of the department. And then I've got a few other buzzwords here. Buzzwords means words that you typically hear in the media that may have more than one meaning. So I've got conservative, liberal, American interest, and bipartisanship. These all mean certain things in the media, and I'd like to talk about what they mean. But I'd like to add to this list, we're going to watch a little report, and I'd like to add to this list the important vocabulary that we need to discuss this issue, the issue of dissent. And then we're going to have a debate as well. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Did anyone else join us? Oh, Hazel's here. Hi, Hazel.
Hello, I wanted only to watch, but I couldn't watch anything. That's why I came into, because I don't have any idea about this topic, but I'm interested only in listening, please.
Okay, no problem. So let's start with a little background. I'm going to play a short video. I hope I put the video here. Yes, I did. Okay, I'm going to play a short video, and everyone, please accept the YouTube app. And afterwards, we're going to read some expert opinions and have a short debate of our own about how to handle, how the situation should be handled. I also want you to focus on the key words, and then we're going to add those to our list on the warm-up that we just looked at. Okay, so did everyone accept the YouTube app?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This video is, it's about 5 minutes, but if I can stop it earlier, I will. But it's a really good presentation. So here we go. Because we're not going to actually read anything today, so even though it's 5 minutes, we'll still have plenty of speaking time.
I don't see the video.
Oh, I haven't played it yet. I'm going to do it right now. Did you get the link to accept the YouTube app, Goliath?
You
clicked
clicked
OK?
on the YouTube, but what link?
Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to play it now. 1 second. There are no results for this video. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Yeah, hold on a second. That's not right. Okay, give me just a moment.
Yeah. Sure.
Why is that video not playing? Hang on just a second.
Shall I try to press the button? Oh, no, it's not working.
No, hang on a second. But I'll get it. Because I put the link to the website, not to YouTube. That's the problem. But give me just a second, and let's see if I can find it on YouTube. If I can't, we can actually might actually skip it. Hold on a second. So, Paul Mason. Let's see if I can get that. Let's see. Uh-oh. No, I don't think it's on YouTube. Why did I think it was on YouTube? Give me a second here.
I think they deleted it, the Department of Defense.
Maybe.
They deleted it because it was not good for them.
All right. Well, I guess I can't play that because it's BBC News and they don't want me to play it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Oh, that's not good. Okay.
We used to it. Our media is not playing anything 3 days about this subject.
Let me just see what we should do here. Well, I think we're going to have to skip that, so forget about YouTube. Okay, but look, if you want a good overview of the situation, I think it's a good report. So you can watch it on your own. There's no way I can play it in the classroom. Let me see if there's anything else by Paul Mason. Nope, I don't see anything.
Did you put the link of YouTube in the chat box?
The link, the link is on our shared document, and I'll give it to you again. It's right here. It's right there. Okay, but let's not worry about the video then. You can watch it on your own time. It's worthwhile, I think, and it's short. It's about 5 minutes. So, why don't we talk about what we do know, and then we'll take a look at a few opinions that I posted in our shared document. So, does anyone want to talk about what they know about the situation, first of all?
I think the better who knows are Turkish people.
It's
yeah,
true,
and
but
we have a Turkish guest here. I think she knows better than us.
I'm not guest.
Yeah.
I'm landlorder.
You're the host. Okay.
Well, it's up to you, Nihan. Do you want to give us an overview?
Yeah, maybe.
It's up to you. You don't have to if you don't feel comfortable.
No. I'm open for this subject. In Turkey, some kind of protesters say to our prime minister has gone too far because he used an arrogant speaking style for our human rights. And the police use tear gas to stop a group of demonstrators, and the protests are going bigger and bigger for 10 days. I read a lot of articles about this situation. I attend the protesters in my city. There is a million of people, a very crowd, and some of surveys, according to surveys, 17% of the people who attend the protesters are only born after the 1990s. So they are very, very young people. And these children are not part of a kind of political party or any kind of a political weave. Some of them even they don't vote. They only express that kind of phrase: "Do not touch my privacy, my lifestyle." They said to Prime Minister Erdogan, because Erdogan is such a dictator, tries to change the vested interest to his wishes, Islamic
Let me
wishes.
ask you a little bit about that. And also, you brought up many things. Let me just clarify one thing. You tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. So, as far as I understood, this began the Monday before
With
last.
the environmental problem, yeah.
Right? So.
It began Friday.
Well, before Friday, there was the initial move to demolish the park in Istanbul, Gezi Park in Taksim Square, right?
Yeah, that kind of platform for 3 or 4 months ago, 100 people or 200 people try to sit in protesters.
To have a sit-in, is that what you mean? They were trying to block the demolition of the park.
Yeah.
Why is it significant that this park not be demolished? What are they protesting in particular? I mean, we know in general what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
because
why this particular
Taksim Square is not a small park. It's very, very big park, and the government didn't negotiate with the Istanbul's people, and they tried to the government tried to build a mall instead of a park with trees.
So they tried to demolish one of the last green spaces of the city and put up a shopping mall.
Yeah, exactly. and without negotiating.
So without. By the way, with negotiation, we could say without public consent. No one was asked. Is that, you mean there was no vote, there was no consent from the people who would go there? Okay, that was one point I wanted to ask you about, and I've got one more. So, first of all, the pronunciation is Erdogan or Arayan? How do you say his name?
Arrogant.
No, the president. How do you pronounce his name?
Erdogan.
Prime Minister.
Erdoğan.
Erdogan.
Erdoğan.
Erdogan.
He's a
Yeah.
Prime Minister.
Surname.
Prime Minister, sorry. Prime Minister. Erdogan.
Yeah.
So you were saying that there's concern that he's basically being a dictator. Is he a dictator or was he elected?
He elected.
He was elected.
He was elected for 10 years ago. Then he achieved to increase his voice in these years. But and I vote him also. But nearly 3 months ago, something's happened, but I don't know what has happened.
Really? So he got into
changed.
power in 2003, right?
2000.
2000?
Before
2000? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before he has another government occupations, but yes, when he how can I say, when he gets into prison for his thoughts, and he came back to the political area. Arena. He elected, and the Turkey believes him. He was innocent for the prisoning time, and votes him a very, very large scale.
Okay. So, well, let's open this up to the group, because maybe this class would be best kind of questions and answers from everyone. So my main two questions were about him coming to power and whether he was really truly elected and it was a democratic process, and why and when that changed. You've already hinted about that, and also to clarify what sparked this idea of changing, of what's happening to the city. And you mentioned something else very interesting. You said these are not political people; they're just young people who feel that they're not being considered. Their consent is not being asked for. Their privacy is not being respected. It's not a political movement. So it sounds very much like what was happening in the States last year, the year before, and the year before that, in the Occupy movement.
Occupy Wall Street, yeah.
Among other places, yeah. That was the most famous. But let's see, are there any questions from the group, or is there anything we want to talk about in particular or clarify? Action, you were saying that he was elected in 2002?
Yeah. He was elected. His party was elected. His party became a power in 2002. But I think Erdogan was in jail. So after leaving the jail, he became a prime minister in 2003 or the last months of the 2002.
And so his election is pretty significant in the history of the country, isn't it? What was before this election? When was the last elected leader?
So
coalition.
There was a coalition in Turkey. I think Bülent Ecevit was the prime minister, but in that days the country has a really bad economic crisis, and after that, so Erdogan in the some of the meetings, like in the Gezi Park, I don't know, he maybe in his so he was meeting with the people, and he read a poem, and because of the poem, he arrested, so he was in jail, and
he was in jail for what reason? Actually,
so he was just the reason of reading poem.
For his political.
No,
it's just
a poem.
A poem. Okay, so for his writing, literally.
No, it wasn't his writing. It was another poet's writing. So it was a poem just.
Okay, but because I don't know anything about the history of this, why was he
Yeah.
jailed if it wasn't his own
So
writing?
Turkey is a really complicated country. It was so he has a Islamic history, Erdogan. So he was in a really Islamic party before. Then he changed his party. They make another party for his some friends of his, and they took power in Turkey. And they said that they are not so conservative Islamists. They are modern Islamists. They
Right,
call
right.
themselves like.
And is that true?
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
No.
So 10 years it was true, but nowadays
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
so what? By the way, I don't want to be the only one asking questions, so maybe I should shut up. But Juan and Goliath, if you want to talk about something in particular or ask questions, please go ahead.
I don't know what triggered this protest, but I followed Erdogan, Tayyip Rajab Erdogan, his foreign policy. I didn't
Right.
like it.
And what
He
about
was
it? Tell me what about it was disagreeable for you. What didn't you like? Hello?
Goliath.
I think he's got a connection problem because he disappeared earlier. Okay, Goliath, we'll come back to you because I think you're having some connection problems. Juan, do you have any questions or anything you'd like to clarify about this?
Not yet. I'm paying attention because this is the first time I get to know deeper in this. However, I do have. I want to know what cobblestone means.
Cobblestones are the things in the streets. So if you're, I don't know, were you reading that?
In the article,
Okay,
the analysis.
in the analysis, okay. Yeah, because the point is that in the clash between the police and the protesters, they needed some way to defend themselves because the protesters, wow, we're losing a lot of people. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Wow, this class is mysteriously.
And no one can hear and see
No one can
outside
hear.
the class.
Well, that's because this is a special class because they rescheduled it, right? So Verbling probably because it's a rescheduled class, it's not going to broadcast because that's probably why.
Okay.
But as to why certain people are getting kicked out and others, well, we'll have to ask Google about that. I don't know. So Juan, in the old streets, like if you see pictures of Lisbon, it's all cobblestone streets. Those little bricks that make up the streets in the old days before asphalt. So basically, they're being shot with tear gas canisters. They're being fired like missiles, and they have no defense. So they had to pick up rocks. So basically, they pulled apart the street. I think that's what you're probably reading. So
yeah, it says. Well, it's in the first paragraph that to any student of social history, the sight of the urban middle class using its finger to dig up cobblestone, form a human chain, and pile them 3 feet high to make a barricade.
Okay, great. Where are you reading? I'm sorry. Is that in our shared document?
Yeah.
Which part? Because we've got the debate.
The analysis. The title is Analysis: The Hopes That Blaze in Istanbul by Paul Mason.
Oh, you're reading the video that I shared. Okay. That's from you clicked on the link.
I click on the link and start to watch not watch because I didn't want to get distracted, to read some of the article.
Yeah, the video is a good summary and it's a good short report that covers it pretty well. So Goliath, are you back now?
Yeah, we're having this terrible internet issue.
Okay, but you're here. So we were we were talking with Juan, but you got cut off, so I want you to have a chance to speak.
Yeah, I think there is a part of his foreign policy. So Turkish people feeling, I think, it's my opinion, that he's not serving his country. He's serving the powerful countries' purposes, especially in Arab countries. He has a role in Arab Spring, and I think what is happening is same. So what he did to others, he's receiving it now. What I can
What's the connection with the Arab Spring? I haven't
he
heard
has
that.
a role in a he as I say, he supported the revolution in Arab countries, and now he's involving himself directly in the conflict in Syria.
Mm.
And one day he declared the war on Syria because of some clashes in the borders, and the Turkish people are feeling that he's involving himself in another another conflict. So
Right.
I think foreign policy has something has a role in these protests. They felt that he's not really serving the national, I don't know,
The national agenda on the side of the people.
his country.
Yeah.
He's like a tool. And because I'm Arabic, I before this uprising I described him as a double-faced man.
Uh-huh.
He has
Two-faced.
Yeah, he has two faces. He's a hypocrite,
Uh-huh.
and he's taking the image of Islamist, modern Islamist.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, and the liberal and the democratic, and when it comes for these events, he's doing same as they did Muammar al-Gaddafi and Bashar al-Assad. Is same. He's preaching the right and doing the wrong. So I think Turkish people are aware now about his real policy.
Absolutely.
Economically, they are good. Turkish people, Turkey is good, so it's not economical issue. I think it's his foreign policy.
Okay, well, I have a quote to share as well, which may shed a little bit of light here. I'm going to put it in the chat window. This is just a quote from, I was looking for what people were saying in the protests themselves in Istanbul. So I'll put it in the chat window. It is all of our responsibility. This is about what happened in Taksim Square. It's all of our responsibility to raise our voices for the protection of an area that is integral to our culture and history. If these plans go ahead, the plans to build a shopping center and demolish the square, the history associated with, how do you say that, Maxim? Nihan, how do you pronounce that in the chat window?
We said differently. I didn't understand the Maxim.
Maxim, the historical water depot at the square, and what's this, Ataturk Cultural Center at Taksim Monument in
Maxim. Okay.
So one of the things, this is one of the protesters talking, I think I included this because you're talking, Goliath, about the international, the geopolitical aspect, and yeah, I'm sure that you're right. But also, this other dimension you can see from direct interviews with protesters. This is, I thought, was interesting because this is a woman in the protest who says specifically it's an issue of culture and history, because demolishing the park is like erasing the history of what's there. Nihan, do you know what's in the park? What historical thing? Oh, look, we've got Elbrus, too. Hello, Elbrus. Hello, Elbrus. Am I saying your name right? You can turn on your mic and say a quick hello. Make sure your mic is gray, not red, okay? Elbrus, above the chat window, unmute the mic. Turn on the mic, okay?
Is he Turkish?
We'll find out if he turns on his mic.
By his name, maybe.
No.
No?
Over here, Elbrus, look up here. Can you see where I'm? That has to be gray, not red. If it's red, I can't hear you, okay? So unmute your microphone. Turn it on, and we can hear you. So
Yes.
Elbrus, Hey, there we
Hi,
go.
how are you?
Hi, Elbrus. Thanks for joining us. Where are you from?
From Azerbaijan.
From Azerbaijan. Okay, excellent. I don't know if you were following the class, but we're going to do a little debate. We've been talking about the issue in Turkey, in Istanbul, and around the country, and
Huh?
we're sharing this document. So in the chat window, click on that link, and you see that something that we're going to read. Okay?
Okay, now I'm in Ankara, and
You are? Oh,
yeah,
Nice.
what's going on?
what's going on? And there is some protest, but not a big protest as another previous day.
So have the protests been going on for the last 10
Huh?
days, like in Istanbul?
Yes, like Istanbul.
So we've been talking about what set it off. We've been talking about, I'm going to get his name wrong, Erdogan and his policies. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we've been talking about a little bit about the history as well, from his election in probably 2003, and what happened before, and what has changed recently. So Nihan was saying that there's been a change in the last really few months, right, Nihan?
Yeah.
So, Elbrus, how long have you been in Turkey? How many months or years? Or do you live there, or are
9
you
months.
visiting?
9
Nine-
months, and I'm studying in Turkey in university.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Excellent. And have you noticed a change since the time you came? Before these protests, did something change in the culture? Have you noticed a big change?
No, there's no big change.
So
Everything is okay.
it's okay?
Yeah.
Really?
For you.
For me.
Okay, because there was a lot of people injured, so I wouldn't say it's
Yeah,
okay.
there's a lot of people injured and 3 people killed.
So you haven't noticed a change in the culture or a change in the media in those 9 months that you've been there. This is all very sudden. Is that what you're trying to say?
For me, in culture, there is no change.
Interesting. Well, one of the things I'd like to talk about is what the international community should do. So if you open that document, and I'll share my screen just so everyone can see. Well, no one's watching this because it's not being broadcast, but underneath the warm-up, I've got a little text. Goliath, could you read that little text for us? Goliath, are you there?
Yes, I am. In the
Okay, cool.
screen?
The one in our document where it says text, because this is our debate
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Could you read it for us?
Yeah. Turkey has been hailed as a model of democracy in the Middle East, but its growing middle class is demanding more freedoms than its prime minister. Recep Tayyip Erdogan seems prepared to give. The recent protests highlight frustrations with policies that may hinder economic growth.
Hinder
Hinder.
meaning be an obstacle for. Hinder is to be an obstacle.
Hinder economic growth. Are these protests symbolic of a more serious threat to the balance of power in the region? How should the United States respond to the Turkish government's reaction to dissent?
Right. So we're going to try to answer that question among us. But in order to do so, I thought it would be interesting, especially for your English, if you were to read an expert opinion. Whether or not you agree with it doesn't matter. But it would be great for you to read an opinion and be able to summarize the argument that the person is saying. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hazel, if you don't want to join, that's okay. But we've got 5 people, and I think I've got how many opinions?
8.
1, 2,
Leave me
3,
out,
4,
please.
5. Okay.
Leave me out.
Okay, so we've got we've got 4 people, but 5 including me. So 5 people and 5 opinions. So I'd like everyone to pick one, spend a minute, read through it, and see if you can get the gist of the argument. And I'd like us to sort of present the argument, and then we'll discuss it for the rest of the class. So I'm going to just do this randomly. Hazel, could you read "Supporting Erdogan Helps Democracy," the first one?
Yes.
Did I say Hazel or Nihan? I'm sorry.
Okay, you said
You
Hazel.
said Hazel.
Sorry, because you want to be left out, right?
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to be left out, I'm sorry.
You have to join, Hazel. It's
I can read, but I don't have any opinion about this issue.
You will have.
No, Hazel, it's okay. If you don't want to
No,
talk,
respect if she doesn't want to.
It's fine. So I meant to say Nihan, but I was looking at you and I said Hazel.
Okay.
Nihan, could you read the first one for us? You're going to read it silently and just present the argument that's being said. Supporting Erdogan helps democracy. And Juan, could you read the second one? The U.S. should stand with the Turkish people. Okay?
Okay.
And Goliath, could you read a quiet bit of advice and reinsurance? Okay. It's you can either click on the table of contents or you can scroll down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a bit of advice and pressure. This one.
That's it. Okay. And Elbrus, could you read "Make it clear that representation isn't acceptable," which is the 4th argument in the list. Do you see where that is?
No, I can see.
Okay, hang on a second. Look at your screen. And this is the document that I gave you the link to, and you can see the fourth text is right here. Make it clear that representation isn't acceptable. And you could either click on the link, or you could just scroll down to, I don't know which page it is.
We have to read it quickly.
Yeah, you have to read it quickly. But it's short.
Page 5, 6.
Page 5. Okay, so can you do that one for us? Elbrus, could you read that one for us? Okay?
I put
Yes.
the link in the chat.
And Hazel put the link for you in the chat on the right side.
I entered the link.
Okay? So you're going to read that and summarize it for us. Okay?
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to read the last one. So let's give everyone 2 or 3 minutes, read through it, get the gist of the argument. Gist means the general idea, by the way, to get the gist of the argument. And then we'll discuss which options we think are the right options at the end. Okay, everyone clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Elbrus, if you have any questions, just let me know, all right?
Okay.
Mine was the second one, right?
Yours is the second one, right, Juan?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I need 2 minutes to read as well, or I won't be able to think. So I'm going to be quiet for the next 2 minutes. And any questions, let me know. Otherwise, my mic's going to be off while I read. Okay, so how are we doing?
We're doing fine so far.
All right, and we lost Elbrus already.
Hmm.
I don't know if he got scared
Oh,
or what
he
happened.
joined the protest.
Maybe. I hope so. And Action? What happened to Action as well? Action disappeared as well.
Oh.
Wow. All right. So, shall we talk about what we read?
Yeah?
Okay.
In mine, I started to underline some vocabulary words. So what I'm going to try to do is use the bold words, because I think they're good vocabulary words, use them to give you a summary. So I summarized Besma Momami, I guess, an associate professor at the Brookings Institution. So this is a private think tank. And she said that what's interesting here is that it's very similar to what happened in Zuccotti Park in New York, the Occupy Wall Street protests, which began in 2011 but extended for a year roughly, because she calls it a mixture of leftists, anarchists, environmentalists, and secularists are all successfully staring down security to reclaim the park as their own. So I bolded staring down and reclaim because these are good vocabulary words. I don't know if I agree with what she's saying, but I think she's trying to make the point that because to me that she's making it very clear that it's a certain sector of people, and I think she's totally wrong about that. It's true that it was leftists, anarchists, environments, and secularists. Secularists means what? Is that clear?
Hundreds.
No. Secularist
No.
means
they want to govern without religion.
exactly. The secular means not against religion, but just that it shouldn't be included, right? So that there needs to be a separation of church and state. So secular, without religion. She's saying that in her little article, her opinion, and she makes an okay point. Her point is that he's the nicest, she calls it, autocrat in the region. But she's missing out something important, because this is where I'm from, and I know very well what happened there. It wasn't just leftists. It was also people from Wall Street itself down there. Believe it or not, it was the business community as well. There was really no particular, I mean, that's how it looked. It was not really a political thing. There were definitely people organizing it, but it was very self-consciously meant to be apolitical. What's the difference between political and apolitical? Vocabulary word?
A would mean in this case no.
Not political, right?
Non-political related.
Okay,
like
great.
Me. Like me today.
Apolitical, right. So, and she's basically makes the point that in order to understand him, to understand the prime minister, you've got to understand, what does she say? You've got to understand that there are massive redevelopment projects all throughout the Middle East without the consent of the population, and you have to understand it in that context. So I'm a little bit suspicious about this point of view. I think it's more than that. Okay, so that's her point of view. Let's hear Nihan. Want to go next?
Maybe, but
if not, pass, then we'll go to Juan.
But I wrote at Hussein's opinions, but it's bullshit.
Okay, but you don't have to agree. It's not important that you agree. What's important is that you pick up a few vocabulary words and that you can summarize why you don't agree. That's kind of important. So tell us the opinion and why you disagree with it. And who is speaking, by the way? Who are you reading?
The first one, Ed Hussein, and known as Senior Fellow of the Middle East. I don't know him. I only know one journalist in this text. Mm-hmm. But he basically says after the election of Erdogan, there is more safe for Islamic opinions, and the mosques are full of and very confident areas, and
That's
this
not true. That's not true because they raided the mosques during the protests. That's in the
but
report.
no, he said he visited the country in 2000,
Ah,
and he realized that the Islamic opinions are increasing, and it's very confident areas for Islamic people.
mhm.
And he basically said these protesters caused because of the secularists, hardcore secularists. He used this term. This is not a kind word, because when you are secularist and it's when you're hardcore secularist, it's nothing that but you're hardcore Islamic. It's the same kind of using in this text.
Sure. So the word in English would be a fundamentalist, right? Fundamentalist, whether it's secular or religious, still fundamentalist. Okay. Because whenever you have an ist, it tends to be a negative word. Well, let's go around the room as well. I mean, we can go over time a little bit, but I want to give everyone a chance to just present the argument first. So we'll come back to you in a moment, Hazel.
John,
Yeah.
I want to add a little bit.
Sure. Go for
Not
it.
about text, because I want to understand the word, what's going on really. He started the discussion about adultery, abortion,
Oh, yeah.
and
He
birth
said some
control
crazy
pills
things, right?
against women's rights,
Yeah, exactly.
and use very, very rude language style.
Yeah.
He is not innocent totally.
Yeah, of course, yes. But no one's saying he's innocent. But you're absolutely right. In the video I was going to show, they make that point. He wants to ban C-sections, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. What happens if you can't give birth to the child?
Unacceptable. Yeah.
I mean, that's not an abortion issue. That's health, right? What if you have a physical problem? Not even a problem. Some women, they can't give birth. They have to give birth in that way. So what's the problem? It's very strange. In the report by Paul Mason, the British reporter, it's one of the things that he talks about, that some of the basically it's just policies that are against women. And it seems hard to believe that he was elected with those. It seems, unless that's recent.
He hid perfectly
Very, very interesting.
his agenda.
Well, let's hear from Juan and Goliath. Tell us about what you read. Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Juan.
Okay. Well, I was making some notes here.
Sure.
I think he's acting as a dictator, also demonstrating a two-faced opinion, creating an oppressive regimen for free speech. Also, if President Obama is serious about their partnership with Turkey, I agree with the columnist that he must speak out in general about what truly is free speech.
Okay, and so what was the essence of the argument from the columnist you read? That Obama is not taking an active role?
Let me just...
Was that the main point?
Well, no, not exactly. It didn't say that President Obama was not
taking an active role.
Taking an active role, but he should.
Okay.
Because he stated in last year in a reunion with well, I don't know if the Turkish Spring is related to a reunion.
By the way, in English we'd say just meeting, or if it's a political meeting, we would say summit.
Summit,
right? But reunion is that's Spanish, because a reunion for us is like your high school reunion when you see people after many years. So a meeting or a summit or maybe a conference.
Okay. Well, maybe if someone can help me with what is a Turkish spring?
It's a term that some people are calling this.
Okay.
That's what I understand, right? Some people are saying this is the Turkish spring, and
Okay.
yeah.
That it means a revolution.
Okay.
It means when like Arab Spring.
It referred to, yeah, Arab Spring, but the Turkish people rejected that term
Interesting, really.
because it's very different kind of protester.
Yeah, well, that's what the author that I read said
Well,
about.
tell us about yours. Yeah, you're the last one.
Yeah, he said Turkey should not be compared to Arab Spring protest because the protests in Arab world were against long-term dictatorships, and the United. Should I continue or?
Please, yes.
Yeah, I will say phrases because we have run out of time. And the United
We've got
States
plenty of time.
should
Don't worry.
should reassure Erdogan it's not a coup plot. It's not conspiracy. I will use my own.
He got cut off.
Yeah.
Okay. He's having connection problems.
John, last
Yes.
word.
Sure.
The Turkish people rejected the term of Turkish Spring because they do not want to, how can I say, want to ruin the government. They
Right.
don't want to change the
They don't want
government.
to bring down the government.
Yeah, bring down the government. They only want to step back some kind of speech, some kind of laws
Right.
that they intend, that he intend to rule for. Especially about the alcoholic drinks. They don't want their
They were banned,
lifestyle.
right?
Not banned. The
Restricted.
sales are restricted, yes, but it will be banned. The concerns are about this.
Right. The concern is about an increasingly autocratic government, I think. Does that sound right?
Autocratic is very kind verb.
Okay.
I think it named dictatoric because the parties AKP government is not all about him. They don't like the style of government either. Because the president of Gül,
Right.
he is on the Erdogan. I guess and I wish he will reject the law of that kind of alcoholism or adultery. He rejected.
Right.
He will.
Sorry, guys, about my net. So it's.
Well, Goliath, you have the last word. We're about to finish up.
Just this section about his giving some advice to make less tense this situation. It's like the solution of this. He said they must meet and dialogue and understand what is going on and try to solve the problem. So he must be more open-minded to Turkish demands, to Turkish street demands. So that's what I understood.
And that's pretty much what Nihan just said as well.
Yeah, but it's my article. Maybe the same. The two authors or journalists have the same tendency or same, yeah.
But unfortunately, we lost this option because last night Erdogan came back to country, and everyone was looking forward to hear his speech, which
Forgot
could
that, right?
allow to calm down our nerves, but the expectations unfortunately came nothing.
Right.
Just,
Well,
just one comment. He was here in Algeria yesterday for to do
interesting.
something. Yeah, and if I know that he wasn't nice enough, I should keep him in Algeria and tell him to calm down. Otherwise, I will not
Some
leave him.
some protesters are did in Algeria, you know. They protest our prime minister.
Oh, you see, we don't like your prime minister, so I step away. But we like Turkish people.
Well,
Thank you.
if you do that, Goliath, could you bring him to the next class so we can talk to him?
I think he will say bad words here. I don't want
No,
to.
that's true. This is a PG class. You know, in American, we have R for adults and we have PG for children. Has to be PG. All right, everyone. Well, this was a very, very informative discussion. And if you want to check out that video, I think it's a fair report. Mostly, these debates, I've done these before in the Talkaholic classes. I think the main purpose for me, for you as students, is it's good for your English to be able to summarize an argument, but also notice the expressions that are being used. Download the link, this shared document, read it again, underline the important words and expressions, and in the next class we're going to have a similar debate, so try to use them actively and tell me, hey, I'm using the dialogue or the expressions from our last class. Tell me if I'm using them right, and I will, right? So that's really, I put a few in bold just to give you the idea of how you can do it. But I think that's the technique here. Try to make these words your own. It doesn't matter if you agree with the opinion. But
yeah, generic, I have a comment. As I said before, it's really advanced course you have.
This is today was
doesn't mean that is not good, but it's really good to improve our English in politics and in. Yeah, it's really good.
If I can do what I want to do, I'd like to turn these discussion classes into an actual course, but I need to talk to Verbeling about that. And that way,
a very good idea.
I want to do it, and that way we can control who's in the class, because in the past it was a mess with new people coming in on day 4 not having read the other stuff. So it will be, well, I'm going to talk to them, and they definitely want to start getting these courses going. Okay, well, we're going to call it a day for today, but remember, you can always talk to me on Facebook or Google+. We can also have another class on this issue, particularly maybe some reading from a different point of view, or whatever. I mean, this is helpful for me too. I think the best thing about Verbeling, the absolute best thing, is that 4 or 5 or 9 people from totally different parts of the world can talk about these issues, and I mean that's really something unique. You can't do it every place. Okay, so stay in touch.
Can we write in your Facebook and discuss sometime?
Sure.
Okay. So I put just generic in, or do you have a link?
If you go to this class in Verbeling, I put teacher info. You can download that PDF. And on the last page, you've got a bunch of little clouds. Each one is a link to a different social media that I'm subscribed to. So you can click on the Facebook link, or you go to my profile in Verbeling, and my Facebook and Google Plus are there as well.
Okay.
John, I saw in the class rules that you had Twitter.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it in the
it's there.
other document.
It's there. Also, you can go to the YouTube channel, and it's connected there too, I think. Or maybe I disconnected it. I haven't really used it a lot. Right now, I'm just posting the classes on Twitter. But I will. Okay. If everyone starts using it, I'll use it too. So,
just one question. It's really important, this one.
Sure.
How do you find our English? Because I'm always skeptical about my English. So am I doing good? Am I doing wrong?
Your level. Do you know the European system? Do you know how the levels? There's 6 levels in the European system. So it's divided in three, A, B, and C,
ABC.
and then A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2.
Mhm.
Everyone in this class is somewhere between a high B2 and a C1. Everyone's basically the same level. I mean, all of you. I'd say you're all pretty much on the same level. But you have different strengths, right? So, without naming names, some people have more vocabulary,
And grammar, like
but
me.
maybe less grammar. Other people have maybe more grammar, but less vocabulary. But I'd say you're all basically at the same level. So C1 is the advanced level, just so you know.
Wow.
C1 is
Yes.
advanced. So that's what a European level considers advanced. C2 is like a native speaker, more or less, right? How long does it take to get to C2 level? Each level in the European system is, let me think how many hours. Well, it's roughly 120 hours per level if you're going to do a course, just so you understand. So, so that means 600 hours minimum to get to C2, but 600 hours of training, not of just speaking. Okay, so
My goal is C1.
no, but you're basically there. Basically, all of you are at the level where you've had. It sounds like you've had about, 400 to 500 hours of training. So that's a good thing. What you need to do is a little bit of revision of some difficult grammar points, and you need to work on your vocabulary. There's only really one way to improve your vocabulary, and that is
Or speaking, in my case, I think.
Maybe, but reading extensively is the number one way to acquire vocabulary. Just reading. Speaking is great to activate all of that knowledge, to get it into your mouth, right? So there's a difference between active and passive knowledge. But you can ask me that on Facebook or Google Plus, and I can talk more in depth if you like.
Okay.
So we're going to call it a day, and I look forward to our next class on this and other interesting cultural and polemic issues happening around the world.
Okay.
So goodbye
Thank
for
you.
now, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
very
night.
much. Great
Bye.
class. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.